What's up, Vetters? Patrick here with Vetted. Today we are talking about Timothy Taylor, the most mysterious man in ufology. You see, Jesse Michaels recently just released a video, an interview with Charles Hall, famously about the tall whites and all of that. It was during this conversation, in fact, near the very end of the interview, where it comes up that Charles Hall knows Timothy Taylor.
There's a guy at NASA who has a deep interest in these sorts of things, experiencers. His name is Timothy Taylor. Have you heard of him by any chance?
Did you say Timothy Taylor?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a good friend of ours.
Oh, so you know Timothy Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're confused on who Timothy Taylor is, don't worry. I'm going to explain. Or should I say, Jesse is going to explain.
Tim Taylor. This is one of those characters where, well, if you know, you know. But if you don't, there's probably a reason why the mood shifted here, folks. Tim Taylor was a NASA engineer who became a biotech entrepreneur, and according to Diana Pasulka's book American Cosmic, where he appeared under the pseudonym Tyler D., has remained actively involved in launch operations for NASA up until today. Pasulka paints Taylor as an enigmatic figure who led her and Stanford microbiologist Gary Nolan to a UFO crash site in New Mexico. By many, he's considered a gatekeeper, well-connected, with access to crash retrieval secrets, as well as personally receiving what he termed downloads of information from otherworldly sources. He claimed these downloads were facilitated by protocols he engaged in, protocols that allowed him to communicate with non-human intelligences. In Pasulka's book, Taylor undergoes a profound conversion in the Vatican archives, blending technology and the phenomenon in what became a personal revelation.
And then he decided to convert. But also what happens is he changes his idea of what these things are that he's feeling he's getting signals from. Because we were studying saints who had these experiences, and he was thinking that they're more in line with what they were, experiencing.
And outside of her account, super experiencer Chris Bledsoe's memoir openly names Taylor as a NASA insider who befriended him after his encounters. Sometimes, Taylor would bring other scientists or officials to witness Bledsoe's experiences. I myself was briefly in contact with Taylor, and I'm not sure what to make of him. And even though I was shocked that his name came up in this conversation, I wasn't necessarily surprised. The deeper cut on Tim Taylor is that he himself is some sort of time traveler, part of a secret program adjusting timelines. This doesn't come from me. Perhaps my favorite figure, aerospace engineer and anti-gravity inventor Thomas Townsend Brown, is connected with Tim Taylor. This is where the story gets weird. Thomas Townsend Brown was obsessed with anti-gravity, but gravity and time have a tight relationship in general relativity. This is just standard physics. So the subplot of his great biography by Paul Shatskin, The Man Who Mastered Gravity, is that Townsend Brown was obsessed with time travel. He would talk about it constantly with his friends and family. Apparently, Tim Taylor told Ryan Bledsoe, Chris Bledsoe's son, that he was part of a secret group in Nassau in the Bahamas that dealt with time travel. I would dismiss this out of hand entirely, but there are some even more interesting connections between Townsend Brown and Tim Taylor. There's an Amazon review that Townsend Brown's daughter wrote on Tim Taylor's biography, Launch Fever. In that biography, Tim Taylor talks about his time traveling back and forth to the Bahamas. He spent a lot of time in Nassau. Townsend Brown also spent a ton of time in Nassau. In fact, his biographer, Paul Shatskin, even coined a term for a secret group that used to meet there. It was called the Nassau Group, and it included the elite of the elite, industrialists like Eldridge Reeves Johnson, and even the inspiration for James Bond and Churchill's super spy, William Stevenson, who helped form the CIA. So maybe Tim and Townsend are part of a secret time travel group. Who knows? But it is interesting that Taylor seems to consistently pop up around very important experiencers in the United States.
Hi, Betters, please hit that like button. That really helps out the videos. And of course, if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I am so close. And yes, by the way, I'm on the road, so that's why I'm here in the hotel, but still putting out vetted videos, y'all. I'll have them for tomorrow as well. Now, I've also done a deep dive on Tim Taylor, which I'll put a link to down below in the description. Please go check that out. I worked a long time on that video, and it's well worth watching. It is all about Tim Taylor. And in fact, Jesse is one of the only people besides myself that talks about Tim Taylor, that covers Tim Taylor, that even discusses him. And I think Jesse sees what I see. He is, again, the most mysterious man in ufology. And I would argue the most interesting. There's no interviews with him, not on camera, not on podcasts, nothing. He has been featured in 2 books, American Cosmic and UFO of God with Chris Bledsoe. And as you're about to find out in this video, his connection with the Hall family is also interesting.
How did you guys originally meet Tim Taylor? He's sort of this very interesting figure, works with NASA, and he's very interested in...
He came here because he found out about Charles. And that was when his daughter, the one who had the baby, was like, what was she, maybe in 5th grade when they came the first time? Yeah,
No,
Why do you think he became interested in your story?
my wife can answer all questions.
because he realized that as far as he was concerned that Charles was the real article was legitimate.
Mm.
And as I say, it's really concerned me because I've tried to email other people because he brought other people to meet us and visit with us. One of the guys cooked right here in my kitchen, and so I tried to contact those people because I had emails for them, and I never got a response about what happened to him.
Who did he bring?
Let me see, David King, wasn't that his name? And what was the doctor that was I think I still have the emails, but he brought lots of people here and brought them to Las Vegas.
Kit Green? Dr. Kit Green, maybe? No?
We were at Green's house, I believe. He flew us to Atlanta.
Yeah.
And had us meet what was their last name? Now I can't remember.
I know who you mean, honey, but I don't remember the last name either.
We met all his friends.
Yeah.
They had a whole house full of people and entertained us.
Interesting. What did you get the sense that did they just want to learn, or did they? What do you?
They
think
were just big fans. But because he introduced them to us.
What did you get the sense of, like, his job at NASA? Do you know what he
We never
does?
discussed
He
this
said that
one.
he was no longer involved, that he went into business for himself, and he would, that's the interesting story. He'd been all over to the various Air Force bases, etc., but he'd never been to Creech before. And so when he came back from Creech the first time, he said he thought that Charles underplayed the strangeness that was going on there. He said they were there for a ribbon cutting ceremony, and he was standing right next to a friend of his. There were no lower ranking people, just all officers. And he said to the guy, do you mind if I just drive up the road, a mile or two? I won't get out of the car. And the guy said, that would be a very bad idea. And then just that quickly, he said, I'm so glad you could make it for this, like I didn't say what I just said. And so he was really even more impressed with Charles' account after he finally got the chance to visit Creech for the first time.
It's so funny. He's the type of guy to, like buy a house near them, right? He kind of just goes and visit these families, these experiencer families, and then kind of preys on them a little bit. That's what it feels like to me. They feel like he's their friend, but he literally just dropped off the face of the earth. He's talking with them, and then just, again, drops off the face of the earth. He does this a lot. Connects with people deeply, steps away. Pretends like he's going to move in that area. Again, just why? What is happening? What's this guy doing? Right? Is this official NASA business? That's the biggest question I have about Tim Taylor. Is this official government business, or is he doing this on his own personal time? And yes, that makes a huge difference, right? And I have so many questions. Jesse, and I could hear Chris Ramsey in the back. They asked some really great questions to the halls. And, shout out to them, props to them for just being honest about that and open and telling exactly what happened. But I definitely have a lot more questions. And, what is Tim Taylor's interest in this?
Did he ever say where his interest in ETs came from?
I don't remember that he said that, no.
Yeah, there were many things that we never talked about his work or things of that nature. And we also never talked about projects that he was associated with or anything like that.
Did he ever ask you about your Hall photon theory?
Yeah,
I'm
but
sure we talked about it.
Yeah,
he,
but
he was interested actually in buying a house and moving out here.
He seems to pop in when experiencers have anomalous experiences.
We never had any trouble getting in touch with him. And as I say, the last contact we had was just when he said, he was looking forward to being a grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. He just disappeared. We never heard from him since.
I've heard that from numerous people. He did that. I mean, I had very intermittent correspondence with him, but he dropped off on me, Chris Bledsoe, a bunch of other people. So
it's just that ours went on for so many years.
Yeah.
You said 15 years?
I think so, yeah.
Wow. It's so strange that he would just not contact you after 15 years, though.
Yeah. I mean, we shared a lot of really personal things.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, he converted to Catholicism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Recently, in 2015, 16-ish?
Something like that.
During his trip to the Vatican?
Yeah, and he'd been to Rome several times after that. So, yeah.
Do you think when he went to the Vatican archives, he experienced anything around the ET topic? Any confirmation of that?
I have no idea, but when Charles and I went to Rome for the first time in 2000, what was that? 5, 6, something around there. I took the first 3 books as a presentation for Pope Benedict, and a couple, like 2 months later when we were home, we actually got a thank you note from Pope Benedict.
Really?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I think we Xeroxed it and put it in book 4 maybe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Could we see that? I'd love to see the thank you note. That'd be amazing. Oh, it's in book 4. Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Do you believe that Timothy Taylor has ever met an extraterrestrial?
He certainly didn't say anything about meeting
Or
one.
has he shared any personal sightings that he's ever had?
No, but
Not to
maybe
my
the
knowledge.
fact that he disappeared, maybe he went off with them somewhere. I don't know.
Okay, so basically, Tim Taylor is potentially a time traveler. I mean, what are we talking about? He's from a different time? What time? Or does he just time travel with a secret group out of Nassau, or whatever it's called, in the Bahamas, right? I mean, come on. A secret space program in the Bahamas where they time travel? I'm sorry. I just don't buy that. One, there's zero evidence. People spent time in the Bahamas. That's the evidence? That can't be enough, right? If you want me to believe time travel and someone's a time traveler, I need to see something that relates to that. So I don't know. Again, it's what makes him so interesting. Just want to ask him, what's going on? Are you a time traveler? Are you from a different time? Because that's kind of insane. I don't know if that lore is part of the UFO community, right? Is there another figure in the UFO community who claims to not be from our time? And again, it's not Tim Taylor saying this. It's Ryan Bledsoe, who is Chris Bledsoe's son. And there's a lot of stories that get told, right? So I don't know. I feel like Tim Taylor was just messing with these people, messing with these families. But why? All right, y'all. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm going to put a link in the description to the full Charles Hall interview. I highly recommend going to check it out. It's quite fascinating. I don't know what to think about the story, to be honest with you. There's really no proof of anything. It's just, again, more stories, but it's interesting to listen to. And the gentleman seems very nice, as well as with his wife. But I don't know. Decide for yourself. But I definitely recommend checking out the interview. It's well worth it. So, links in the description. We'll see you on the next one. Remember that every day's a gift, y'all. Peace.